Hi, so today I have 5 animal picture books that I want to share. And I don't usually blog that much on picture books with animal characters. Um, but these 5 were exceptional, so I just wanted to share them. So the first is called A Lion is a Lion by Polly Dunbar. And what I like about this book is it's it's kind of, I mean, these are all funny stories, but this one is a little bit about politeness and also about standing up for yourself and saying no. And in this book, a lion is a lion, so a lion has his nature, and he comes in, and it's sort of like, what do you say when people do things or when lions do things? Even if they're out of character, like he's being pretty polite. And what do you do when the person is not so polite? And so this book kind of talks about a lion nature is perhaps not to be the super polite type of person, and you just have to say no sometimes. And so it's kind of a story about asserting yourself, but it's also funny, and I liked it a lot. My next one is called Grumpy Monkey, and it's also another book about like kind of authenticity and feelings and expressing your feelings in an authentic way. And it's by Suzanne and illustrated by Max Lang, and I'm actually not sure if they are related, but I would guess that they're married. So in this book, Monkey, like, he looks grumpy. It's kind of like, when people have that, 11's line and frown lines, and they just look grumpy, but they're not. And so he looks grumpy, so everyone thinks he's grumpy. And they have all these suggestions for Monkey not to be grumpy, even though he keeps saying, I'm not grumpy. And so he gets to the point where he fakes looking happy, but he doesn't feel happy inside. And so that just makes him, feel badly and be grumpy. And so finally gets to the point where he's like, trying to say he's not grumpy. But it actually makes him angry. And then he is grumpy and a little bit sad. That kind of no one believes him. But then he runs into his other friend, Gorilla, who also was happy, but then had a little porcupine accident. And so they get to be grumpy together. And so it's just about, I like a lot of books about expressing your feelings. And Sophie, what is that? Sophie with the Scream book. Okay, I'll put it in my box in the notes of the video. But I thought this was a cute and funny book. And then another book, That Bear Can't Babysit by Ruth Quayle and Alison Friend, is sort of about impressions or first impressions of, in this case, animals, and how they're not necessarily true. And so in this case, the rabbit parents, which I can totally relate to, like they finally want a night out without kids. And, it's hard to find a babysitter when you have so many children. So they just hire Bear because, honestly, they just need to get out. And so at first the little bunnies kind of take advantage of Bear because they don't think Bear is a very good babysitter. And they run over Bear and they do things they're not supposed to because Bear's pretty nice and lets them. And so the whole time they're judging, that Bear can't babysit. Like, he's just not a good babysitter. Because it's just an impression that bears are not good babysitters, especially for bunnies. But in fact, Bear turns out to be an amazing babysitter. Cleans up the bunnies, feeds them, takes care of them, but then also engages them in a wonderful imaginative play where he pretends they're all on a boat. And it cheers up all the bunnies that were scared from the earlier play and wet and dirty from the play that they did that was kind of naughty. And so it's just a super cute picture book about first impressions and not to judge people. And so the next one is more about authenticity and being yourself. And this is funny. I'm not sure if kids are necessarily thinking about getting jobs, but it's kind of a great message for anyone who's a job seeker. And so in this case, Duck is trying to get a job. Oh, and this is by Sonny Ross. And, you know, he does all the things that you need to do to get a job. Puts on an interview outfit, sends out his letter, goes on an interview, and then, you know, he lands the job. But it turns out that it's not a job that he likes. It involves spreadsheets and charts and graphs, and he's miserable. And so he realizes, like, he doesn't like his job, so he quits, and then he decides he wants to be an artist, and he applies for another job, and he gets that job, and he's much happier with this new job because no spreadsheets. So just another book about sort of being true to yourself, and a little bit about the job process of how to get a job. And it's funny. And so my last book is Mrs. Mole, I'm Home by Jarvis. And it's, I think this is a series. I feel like I've seen at least one of these books. And it's just kind of a cute book. I mean, people, some of my readers have asked for books with glasses. And so this is a book about glasses. And Mole, of course, you know, not seeing well, needs glasses. In this case, he can't find his glasses, but he's still going to attempt to go home anyway. But without his glasses, he just sort of runs into, or digs his way into a lot of homes that are not his. And so he's digging, and he ends up in a rabbit burrow. And in fact, this page spread just shows all the places that he goes digging, and pops up, and oops, he's in the wrong house. And then he finally gets back home, kind of follows his nose this time. And he finally ends up home, and he's still looking for his glasses. And so the punchline I think that kids will like is that had those glasses all along, just couldn't quite find them. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed these 5 animal picture books that are funny and with an overarching message about being true to yourself. And thank you so much for watching.